Good evening and welcome to Under SF Community First. Thank you for joining us. I'm Connor Norris.
And I'm Christina Lander. We have a great show for you guys today as we continue looking at community organizations throughout San Francisco.
Last week, Christina and I put our hard hats on as we met Rebuilding Together SF.
We took a look at the amazing work they do for low-income communities through San Francisco, and we were welcomed inside the home of Carolyn McDaniels.
Not only that, but we saw an awesome performance from PY, and you guys, I finally finished my birdhouse.
Well, it only took you 2 weeks, but good job. I give you props.
Thank you. I totally built this myself. Nobody gave this to me at all.
Yes, because that never ever happens on live television. Birdhouses aside, this week we're switching gears and going in depth with the Asian Pacific American Community Center, also known as APAC.
They provide many crucial services for Asian American communities and low-income families within Visitation Valley.
APAC reaches out to families in this community by giving them a place to call home. In today's show, we'll explore several of the programs they provide, including the Children's After-School Program and the Performing Arts classes.
We'll also sit down in studio with Executive Director Rex Tabora, followed by a performance by singer Katrina Liwanag.
But first, let's take a tour of APAC and learn about their many programs and services and meet Kelvin Chan, the program coordinator of the organization.
The main point of our services is that most of it is free. My name is Kelvin. I'm the program coordinator at Asian Pacific American Community Center. We provide actually tons and tons of services. I can start with the day-to-day. The day-to-day stuff is like translation services. We provide a lot of translation services to like the Asian immigrant community, mostly Cantonese and Mandarin speaking, Tai Chi classes, free tax filing, discounted Mandarin classes for students, an after-school program for kids now. We also are working on a seniors program, signing up for CalFresh, food stamps, and many other services also. The idea with these free services, it provides a low-income neighborhood in Viz Valley that needs these services because they're low income and they don't have the means basically to pay for these services if they were to go anywhere else. We're also providing a safe place for people like kids or seniors to be at so they don't have to be on the streets to interact or endanger themselves while they're out there. We are called the Asian Pacific American Community Center. However, we are not Asian exclusive. It is a bit of a misnomer that we're called the Asian Pacific American Community Center. It's because we were founded by a group of Chinese or Asian people, and they wanted to provide these services to this community. However, it's a misnomer because we do not exclude or discriminate in any other way. And on top of that, we help people in terms of like their taxes. It's not just Asians who are low income. You can be African American, Latino, or Caucasian, or whatever creed or color you are, we'll still help you.
It's so amazing that APAC is open for anyone of any background and ethnicity.
How true. The center brings a huge sense of community and family for people of all ages.
After the break, we're going to meet some adorable children that APAC assists through their after-school program, and I'm going to chat with our high-profile guest from APAC, Executive Director and Board President.
Stay tuned.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Let's hit those pearly whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it. Yeah. Stand up, do my terrorists, gonna compare us. Go. You guys want some pizza? Ooh, cute.
Are you good to try?
I'm fine. Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir.
See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Under SF Community First.
This week we're taking a look at the Asian Pacific American Community Center, also known as APAC.
So far, we spoke to Kelvin Chan, APAC's program coordinator, to get an in-depth look at the history of the organization and everything they provide to its community.
Christina, I don't know if you know this, but I actually love children. I used to work at a pumpkin patch, I've been a nanny, I worked for an ice cream store.
I so cannot say the same thing, but since you do all of that, maybe you should volunteer for their after-school program.
I could do that as long as any of the homework they give me is like below a 6th grade math level, I think.
Well, APAC's after-school program does more than just homework. They give the children a chance to make new friends and form a little community of their own.
That's such an awesome opportunity. Let's take a closer look and speak with Greg Pancho, head of the program at APAC.
It's fun time!
The main goal of the program is to focus on academics. Hi, my name is Gregory Pancho, and I'm a full-time staff here at Asian Pacific American Community Center, and I run the after-school program. What we do here is provide a tutoring service, a mentorship service for students ranging from 2nd grade all the way up till 8th. While we do focus on academics, that's our priority, we do offer other activities such as STEM.
Hi, I'm Katrina Liwanag. I am a volunteer at APAC. I think what's nice for the students is they get that time, one-on-one time that they don't usually get at school. They get to have somebody that looks fun or is fun or who's really interested in what they're interested in. There's a lot of variety with the activities compared to like it being just the same thing over and over every day.
Spaces where children feel safe is not as prevalent as you would imagine. I feel like the service that we provide here is important because we provide that space where they do feel safe and they are challenged to be brave also in terms of growing academically, socially, like also building those relationships outside of the classroom so that the learning doesn't end just between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. It goes beyond that, and the support is also provided beyond that time slot as well. As much as our capacity allows, we try to provide those things, like not just academic strengthening, but also like nourishment beyond the mind, right? And also like being able to have fun and not really apologize or feel bad about it, right? So the fact that we're able to provide a structure which helps them focus on accomplishing their goals as far as homework and projects. They're able to play with each other and in this space without the burden of having to worry about the homework that hasn't been finished yet. So our service is free, and as I can imagine, and coming from a low-income family myself, and having that history, I could appreciate and understand what a free and competent service could mean to parents and families that are trying to provide holistic care for their children. Right now I'm the only recorded staff here, but we do have a multitude of volunteers and interns that help us out. A lot of our youth reside here in Viz Valley. They're students of color, come from low-income families, and I think being able to work with staff that share that experience and background provides a service that goes beyond like academic support.
Hi, my name is Ernest, and I'm a volunteer at APAC. The best part of volunteering is just seeing a small part of the community grow over time from a program that just starts off with very little resources and kind of transitions into something that has a bit more structure, a bit more like scheduling, and like see it organize over time and develop on its own.
I think the best part of volunteering, at least for myself, is well, I work at another after-school program, and this one I feel like there's a lot more focus. I get a lot more one-on-one time with a student and get to see them grow, and there's a lot more personal conversation. You get to build trust with a student.
Doing my homework and playing, because like I get stressed out of my homework because I need help at the same time. But that I get to do math with Kelvin and Greg.
The youth really puts my life in perspective, particularly like they're out of pocket, unexpected reactions, or they're like candid remarks or observations. Just always crack a smile on my face, and I never go home tired. So those are the things, the intangibles that they provide that I'm not sure if I've been able to ever articulate or express my thanks for that.
I really love that package. The kids were absolutely adorable. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for, we have the special opportunity to talk with one very important person from APAC. With us today, we have Executive Director Rex Tabora. Thank you so much for coming. We really, really appreciate it. I wanted to ask you, tell us about your roles and duties and how you contribute to APAC.
Well, thank you for having me here, Christina. So I'm the interim executive director for APAC. So I have left in my contract about 18 months.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a little over 2 years. My predecessor went to work for Assembly Member David Chu, so I got thrown into this role. I'm also a board member of APAC. And what I do on a day-to-day basis is really run the day-to-day operation for APAC, a nonprofit organization that was established back in 1999 by a group of newly arrived Chinese immigrants. Back then, about 25 years ago, there weren't that many Chinese immigrants in Visitation Valley. So with their lack of social skills and the lack of language skills, they were really bullied, picked on, robbed, and sometimes even murdered. So they found a strong bond to really work together to make sure that they get access to the mainstream government services and programs. So our role is to help them get into that. Things like CalFresh, VITA, which is the Voluntary Income Tax Assistance. So we have volunteers. Our staff are all certified by the IRS. We prepared taxes for the low income. If your household income is less than $54,000, we do that free of charge, because paying a certified accountant or a tax preparer $75, $80, $100, sometimes that could translate to about a month's worth of groceries for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
I just got my taxes done and they were not cheap at all.
Yep,
so I hear
absolutely.
you there.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing to hear, because this is such a great organization. They help kids, they help low-income people, but it really started in kind of a very serious place, right? Because of what the Asian community was facing during that time. I wanted to ask you, what kind of projects and events is APAC involved with besides the ones that you mentioned?
So some of the projects that we're involved in, we conduct many workshops, public safety, health, just those sort of workshops, especially again for the immigrants and the low-income families. And I should step back. We started out as an Asian organization. Today we've evolved to serving everybody in the valley.
Yes.
So every ethnic background, African Americans, Latinos, Caucasians that have been there. There's a lot of Italians and other folks from Southern Europe that live in Visitation Valley. It's really one of the richest and diverse community in San Francisco. So we also provide, we do a food drive for our community there, because they're one of the most food insecure population in San Francisco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many folks don't know that. We live in a very rich city, but a lot of people over there, some of the families only eat once or twice a day. You know, we also partner with the SFPD. We collect a couple hundred toys a year during Christmas for low-income kids, and some of these kids
so sweet.
Don't have presents you know, at their home because, again, spending $20, $30, $50, $100 for a toy versus feeding your entire family. So those are the kind of decisions that our families have to deal with.
What's your like favorite program that you've worked with?
Wow, there's you know, I like all of them. You know, this after-school program that was just developed recently, that came about because of Visitation Valley is the lowest performing schools in the SF Unified School District, and there are many factors that plays into that. One of them is a lot of the, you know, our families, their parents have 2 or 3 jobs, so they're not home to assist their kids with their homework. Let alone most of the parents don't even have more than a 5th grade education, so they really don't understand the you know, some of their the academic needs. So what we did is I recruited folks from USF, from San Francisco State. The volunteers that you saw in your clip earlier, those are actually San Francisco State students from the Asian American Studies. They come out to help some of these kids because we firmly believe that the ticket out to poverty, one of them is through education.
Definitely, definitely. Do you have any kind of like favorite memories that you have, specific people that have kind of like touched your heart in this program? Yeah.
So one of them is during the kids, during our Christmas toy drive, the kid had the biggest smile in his face. I didn't know what was going on. He was so excited. And later on, his mom told me that that was the only present they had at their house for that Christmas. This was a couple years ago. And recently, you know, we were able to help a young widow move out of her horrible situation by doing fundraising for her so she could move to a better place. That really, you know, resonated with me and my staff.
Definitely, you're gonna make me cry a little bit. That's so good that you guys can do that for those people. I wanted to ask you, what is the best way for someone to get involved with APAC, whether they want to volunteer or they need assistance?
Yes. So if you're a student or if you're a young person, we could really help. You know, come out and volunteer. Help our after-school program. We also have a senior program. The seniors would love to have young folks out there and talk to them. And if for the folks who necessarily don't have the time, donate, because we have a lot of amazing, we're very fortunate to have an amazing staff who are grossly underpaid. I'd really like for them to be able to live in the city.
And before we wrap up, I just want to say I think it's great that you're reaching out to all different types of people in that area. I will definitely check you guys out and maybe volunteer one day. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. You are doing such wonderful things for the families in Visitation Valley, and I'm glad we're here to help spread your message. When we come back, get ready to be entertained by the center's singing and dancing classes, as well as an in-studio performance by vocalist Katrina Liwanag. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Welcome back to Under SF Community First. Today we're going on a journey and exploring the Asian Pacific American Community Center. We're learning about all of the great things they do for San Francisco's Visitation Valley.
We just sat down with Executive Director Rex Tabora, and he gave us a wonderful insight on the huge impact APAC makes on the community.
Christina, have you ever traveled somewhere and wish you brought a little piece of home with you?
I actually have. I went to the Philippines visiting my grandmother, and I brought a little stuffed animal that my boyfriend got me, and it reminded me of him and home, and I never let it out of my sight.
Well, that's awesome. The classes that APAC provide people a feeling of being at home. Many immigrants feel a piece of home is with them when they're taking a part of these classes, as they incorporate songs and dances from many different Asian cultures.
We took a peek inside these classes and spoke with class instructor Wang. Let's take a look.
I'm just so happy I can do this, even this is only my hobby. My name's Wang. We opened 1 year ago, and that's really, really good. You know, at first it's only a few people, but very soon there are a lot of people come. I focus is the Chinese traditional, actually all different style from China, because in China they have 56 different minority nationalities. They all have their different culture, different language, and different style of dancing, like Mongolian style, Tibetan style, and Uyghur, that's my hometown. And also some other like Thai, that's the peacock. So I think that's the main thing for me to see this class, because most of the students from the class, they're new immigrants, and they're seniors. They usually just feel so lonely and kind of stuck. They don't know what to do, no friends, you know, they don't know how to get, you know, go out, get into society, so depressed. After they come here, they just feel so different. They can hear the familiar music and make more friends. Oh, they just love it. It's really surprised to see they love it so much. They're all waiting for me. They all come early. So now more and more people, they tell friends, so there more and more people come join us. I can, you know, see so many people, they just change. They really change. So I just feel so grateful for that. Yeah.
Welcome back. Please welcome the amazing Katrina Liwanag.
They think it's so easy for them to make you lose. Work hard to make us forget that our fates were all set up, and say we got the right to choose. Choose to provide, choose your future, every person for himself. Make us forget our brothers while they taking our wealth. People didn't just resist so we can feel the same pain. Gotta educate to change the game, 'cause united ain't no way they gon' tear us apart. 'Cause our people taught us how to build home in our hearts. If you feel this, throw your left fist up so they see we're down. Stand and rock, we miss you right now. You love with your soul and liberate us all. For those at the top, prepare for the fall. Surrounded by faces on this sacred ground. Stand and rock, we miss you right now. You love with your soul and liberate us all. For those at the top, prepare for the fall. We're stronger together and we are one sound. Stand and rock, we miss you right now. Ask a Filipino child what the fate of their lives will be. They'll say accessible education will lead them to prosperity. But these so-called leaders serve the money, not the people, don't you see? 'Cause there's mining, there's logging, the racist police. Corporate interests taking space where the youth want to be free. They're so young but they already see. 'Cause united ain't no way they gon' tear us apart. 'Cause our people taught us how to build home in our hearts. If you feel this, throw your left fist up so they see we're down. Men, tonight we miss you right now. You love with your soul, then liberate us all. For those at the top, prepare for the fall. Surrounded by faces on this sacred ground. Men, tonight we miss you right now. You love with your soul, then liberate us all. For those at the top, prepare for the fall. We're stronger together and we are one sound. Stand and rock, we miss you right now. Your sisters crying out from Palestine to the town. Your brothers crying out. We must fight for lives right now. You keep crying out, Lord. We must protect this land, but how? Your soul is crying out. We will keep coming round. You love with your soul, then liberate us all. For those at the top, prepare for the fall. Surrounded by faces on the sacred ground. Stand and rock, we miss you right now. You love with your soul, then liberate us all. Surrounded by faces on this sacred ground. We're stronger together, we are one sound. Meant to now, we will keep coming round. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. We will keep coming round. Your soul is crying out. We miss you right now. Ooh.
Well, that was absolutely incredible. Genuinely, that was incredible.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight's episode of Under SF Community First. We'd like to thank the Asian Pacific American Community Center for making this episode a reality.
We would also like to thank Rex Tabora, as well as Kelvin Chan and Greg Pancho, and a huge thank you to Katrina Liwanag for her incredible performance.
Gave me chills. Be sure to catch us next week, same time, same place, when we look at Circus Center. Maybe you'll see Connor and I doing some acrobatics. We'll see about that. As always, thank you to the crew here in Studio 1. I'm Christina Lander.
And I'm Connor Norris. We'll see you next week on Under SF Community First. Good night.